I'm just gonna start recording now.
Business
this
is
some good
fucking
shit.
usual. Ah, it's good to be back. Screwing up.
It's been a while.
It has been a hot minute.
It's been a fucky couple of months, hasn't it? Hasn't it?
It sure has been.
I have had no brain for
no
anything.
Thoughts, no thoughts, head empty.
Head empty. But not empty of the delicious taste of lime LaCroix.
I don't have a... I have a coffee.
Ah.
Welcome to Bonus Experience. This is a podcast with a deeper look at the play experience and the finer details of running and writing games.
We are queer women speaking with authority about games.
We sure fucking are. Also,
we swear.
Die mad about it.
You said welcome to Bonus Experience, and for a second I almost said an advice show for the modern era. I was like, that's not even
that's
me.
Not, right?
That's not even things that I say. That's how long it's been.
This is an American history podcast. I'm Monica. Yeah, I'm gonna cough a lot too. Julia has been ill, and I have it too.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's great. It's just a
inevitable.
Lingering. Yeah, it is inevitable, and it's just a cough. It's not anything worth being upset about.
I've had this cough for about 4 weeks now, so I might have to go to the doctor for that. Maybe. I gotta go for other things too, so I may as well be like, hey, while I'm here, what's that?
It's one of those things that, like, cold weather, like, the weather shifted. They heard we were talking shit. The weather shifted pretty quickly. Yeah, and then, like, it's been, you know,
the leaves didn't even change color. They just fucking fell off.
We got like a week or two of colored leaves, and then it was like, fuck, winter. All of them fell off at the same time.
I have something growing in the back corner of my yard called a burning bush that's supposed to turn like bright cherry red during the fall every year. It's beautiful. I've seen it happen once because this winter and last winter, it just got so cold all of a sudden that the leaves just fell right the fuck off.
Climate change. Oh, we have a lot of people listening.
Look at that.
So I'm Monica, resident industry professional. You guys walked in on us totally getting sidetracked during the introduction.
Oh boy. This is great. We're back. I'm Ray. I'm the industry unprofessional.
And for this totally unfocused precursor episode, we're gonna wrap up our experiences at Metatopia. And we didn't write an outline. So that's
Metatopia, we went there.
We didn't write an outline, so nope. Neither of us brought anything to test. Like, neither of us were presenting a game for play testing.
Full disclosure, I came completely unprepared. Because I, again, fucking head empty. Just no thoughts. I didn't bring business cards. I brought some dice. And I brought a notebook. I didn't sign up for anything ahead of time. I was just like, yeah, I'll show up. And that's what I did. and now that I've been there for the first time, I feel like that was kind of a good way to do it, honestly, to just get like a survey of, okay, there's a games, there's a panels, there's a peoples you can run into. And now I know next year what I really want to do and what I want to focus on. So it's kind of like a preparation attendance for me.
Yeah, I think if you can get there Thursday night, you can then have your pick of what's on the wall. Like, if you don't schedule ahead of time, I never remember to schedule jack shit ahead of time. Because November is usually super fucking slammed for me. It's usually a 3-convention month. This year it was only 2 conventions because my mom scheduled my sister's baby shower for one of the other con weekends without consulting me. And then when I was like, I can't do that, she was basically like, well, it's non-negotiable, too bad. And I was like,
whoops.
Well, I didn't really have the PTO or the money to go to this other thing anyway, so I'm going to have to
win this round.
You win this round. Like, fortunately for you, I was just, like, I was on staff, and I was able to cancel in enough time that it didn't screw anybody over. But, like, I was like, you got lucky. I don't like that this worked out, but it worked out. Yeah, so I didn't get to go to Anime USA, which is a bummer because that's always a fun time, and I'm staff at that convention, so like staff and night staff, so I work like the registration desk from 4 to midnight or whatever, and that I literally just sit and play on my phone. Or I would have brought the Switch with me and deprived Henry and Julia of Fire Emblem for the weekend.
We have some important emblems to fire.
Actually, Julia also works at her booth. Like, she works for a game store sometimes to work booth at conventions. So she and I would have both been there. So I would have only deprived Henry of the Fire Emblems. But we're not talking about the con I didn't go to.
No, we're talking about the con we did go to. Yeah.
So you got in. I got there Thursday night. The con hotel sold out really quickly, which is unfortunately becoming endemic to con going in the modern era.
Yeah.
So we had an only one bed situation. Like the room, we got a king size room with a pullout, and I was like, okay, that'll be fine for 4 people. And then we got there, and the pullout bed
was not.
No, the pullout bed was really tiny. And even if I had brought an air mattress, there wasn't room for it.
Yeah.
Like, I guess we could have folded up the pullout and moved it, and then like inflated a big air mattress, and then you and Danielle could have shared that instead of whatever. Fortunately, Danielle found another friend to crash with, and neither of you had to spoon with me, which is disappointing.
Right. Or with each other.
It
would have been weird. I'm not fun to share a bed with. Noisy, I move around a lot. It's just not a good experience.
So, having got in there on Thursday, I went to the wall to see. I also had Avi, one of the folks who runs the convention, build a schedule for me because I signed up specifically as a professional playtester, which costs a bunch of money, but it's worth it. And then I was like, nope, you put me in. When you do that, you have to participate in 3 playtests at the professional level. Like, Metatopia offers what's called a high test, which is you let your game be reviewed by other self-identified industry professionals, who then hopefully give you good industry professional advice. And usually, if you're doing a high test, you're looking for, I'm going to produce this professionally, or I'm going to polish this professionally, feedback, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your obligation as a professional playtester is to be in 3 of them. And I am never prepared. So when the post went up on Facebook, Henry was like, you should go respond to it, because I'm not checking Facebook anymore. And tell Abby that you want her to make you a schedule. And I was like, oh shit. So I went and had that done for me. And so I was in my 3 assigned playtests. And then I went to go see if I could get into a couple more, because my schedule was pretty open. And I was like, I could do 1 or 2 more maybe. And everything was full, which is great.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, when I showed up midday Friday and everything was full. I was like, oh, that would have been cool. Full. Which honestly for me was fine. Like I said, I needed some time to kind of feel out the con. And it turned out that I'm baby in the industry right now. And it was still, like, there were still people, like, I still saw names on the wall of people that I recognized, like, oh, Hamish Cameron. Oh, like it was a very weird, and then seeing faces of people that I recognized from streams, like, I know you. And it was good to have the time to just wander and mingle and get to know what was going on. And also I was a little sick and I needed to sleep a lot. I took quite a few naps. I spent a lot of money to nap on a pull-out bed.
Yeah, we did I had a lot of downtime. And that's good, actually, because I find Metatopia to be pretty exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
Between testing, between using my brain to help people get good feedback, and then socializing. Because I live an accursed ambivert life in which I do, in fact, enjoy interpersonal interaction quite a bit. And I want to, I don't want to be lonely. I want to have friends. But then I'm like, oh, this has drained my battery.
I'm so tired.
I have to go hide. And then I got violently ill, but that's for Sunday.
Yes, you did get violently ill.
Get violently ill. Right. So, let me see. What did you test on Friday, if anything?
I didn't test anything on Friday. I think I just went to a panel on Friday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's lots of panels. Like, if you want to... Oh, see, the chat asked if podcasts can be submitted. I think the answer is no.
No, they're asking if podcasts can be subtitled.
Oh, subtitled. Oh.
Because specifically I said, I'm not fun to share a bed with.
Okay. How did I? Oh boy. No
I
thoughts.
don't know.
No thoughts, head empty.
It's cool. It's cool. I'm here. I got the chat on lockdown. Don't you worry about me. I'm definitely not in dark tabs. Thursday, you were there alone Thursday. I don't know what the fuck was happening Thursday.
Like Thursday is just there's nothing going on Thursday. There is an official like industry meet and greet that goes on from 6 to 10 intentionally, but the whole weekend is an industry meet and greet. So
yes, especially in hallways, as it turns out.
Yeah, in hallways, in where I stop. in entrances because someone said hi to me, and then because I held still, I ran into like 8 more people I knew.
Yes, yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Well, Friday I arrived.
Yes.
Rob came to get me, which was awesome. Rob basically like drove me to and from the airport, and then was also like, "Do you want a sandwich? Should we go to CVS? Do you want some cough drops?" And Rob was like my handler. It was awesome. Rob took care of me.
Thank you, Rob.
And then I got to the hotel and just sort of, I think I immediately wanted to nap. Yeah, and then Friday, I was like, what do I do? Monica and Henry were trying to help me figure out what to do. They showed me the wall. There's just a wall, just wallpapered with all of these games and their concepts and their signups, and everything was full. But then I got a hold of the panel list, and the panels were awesome. I wish that I had been able to go to more of them, because there were some really cool panel concepts that I couldn't get in on. I think Friday I went to queer world building in games, which was kind of like 101 level stuff. Like, I took some notes, but it was mostly like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I got that. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, okay. So hopefully next year I'll be able to find something that's a little more like high concept as opposed to introductory level stuff.
I mean, you could always submit such a thing. I
could.
Yeah.
But my credentials are just like, I'm queer and I build worlds. Yeah, like I don't have a whole lot behind me.
It doesn't matter. That's enough for them.
Ah.
Yes.
Anyway, and I think I ate a bunch.
We did do a lot of eating.
There's a lot of really good food there.
Yeah.
Like, incredible. We went to this is going to be the food breakdown for me. We went to the Committed Pig, which was incredible.
Yeah.
And I had just eaten like this huge sandwich from Wawa, which Wawa I missed quite a lot. I missed a Wawa. And then I went to the Committed Pig and watched you guys eat these pornographic burgers, just dripping with Gouda, like thick strings of cheese.
It was brie.
Was it brie?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, the burger that I had and I think Danielle had was a burger, and it had bacon and then like I think it was either honey or some sort of like real sweet jam, brie on the bun, and it was
oh my god,
sinful, pornographic.
Jesus Christ,
it was so good. And then
I had the fried pickles, which were also very good, just in their own right. And then Henry had something with the pickles on it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go back there, but I didn't save enough time for going back to the Committed Pig.
Yeah, apparently you wanted to go for breakfast on Sunday, and then Bob was like, good luck.
Yeah. No, I didn't go back. I don't remember what else I had on Friday. What else did I have on Friday? Did we go to the grilled cheese place on Friday?
Yes, we went to grilled cheese for dinner, I think. Yeah, because we did the Asian place for dinner on Saturday.
The grilled cheese place was pretty good too.
Yeah, because you had the drums of heaven.
that was much later. You're jumping ahead.
Yeah, well, I was just contextualizing that grilled cheese was Friday. Sorry.
Right, got it. All right, Friday. That's what I ate on Friday. What did you do on Friday?
Friday, I was scheduled because I didn't make my own schedule. I had a 9 a.m. So Danielle and I got up and we went to Dunkin' Donuts, because you can't do that everywhere. Just for a quick bite before we went, and then we walked back. I'm a challenging person to walk around with because I'm tall and I walk really fast.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I went to this 9 o'clock, and my 9 a.m. was this really charming game that was supposed to be like a Pokemon or a Digimon type game about like a kid and their monster. But the person creating the game didn't want to lean into the like weird dog fighting and like slavery undertones that Pokemon and Digimon kind of have.
Fucking great.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly.
like, yeah, like they're there. I don't know how much you want to focus on them, but they are present. Like the whole Pokemon justification for why they fight is because they like it, which is kind of gross.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like build this world. It was a collaborative character and world building. It was very minimalist system wise, which is fine, and that's not a complaint. And then you have to determine like what elements. You pick 3 elements to be like rock, paper, scissors. You build your weapon triangle. I've been corrected that Digimon at least has fighting to save the world usually. Yes, it does. That was still part
Pokemon is like blood sport.
Yeah, Pokemon is sort of like blood sport a little bit. And so that there was still this person's noble goal to sort of move away from that idea. So I guess the game that we came up with, because you're supposed to like be like, why do they have these monsters? What is their relationship to them? What types of monsters are there? And then you have to build your little weapon triangle at the beginning with 3 different aspects, which can be literally anything, which is one of the things I had a problem with. And then we built these wonderful characters. We decided our 3 types were time, spice, and dew, like dewdrop, Mountain Dew, DEW. And we got to spice after a long, weird discussion because someone said oregano, and I was like, "Can we stop?"
Because someone else said time.
Right, because someone else said time, and I was that was one of the things that went into my feedback. And like one of the things you had to do to build your character was, and when you found your monster, was like you had to pick a low point in your adolescent's life where the monster comes to you and like helps you through it, right? So that's part of character creation, is a little montage where like you get your guy and they help you. And I chose a time. I played a character. I was like, oh, I also really like Gravity Falls, so I'd like there to be some sort of like spooky elements, like not necessarily horror elements, but like spooky elements. And I basically played like a Wendy XB, and in fact, I named my character Wendy. Which then people were like, oh, like also like Wendy from Peter Pan, because I was also the oldest kid and the least disillusioned, or rather the most disillusioned, like the most jaded of the kids. And I actually had a really good time playing it. It was a lot of fun. But then I was like, so what exactly were you trying to test? Because we didn't we made a bunch of characters and they were like, oh yeah, that was what we were doing. And so one of the points of feedback that I gave was, so when you're at the like rock, paper, scissors, the weapon triangle, you create these types. I think it's really important for you as the person who's maybe like writing the guidebook or whatever to give either preset packages or encourage the facilitator to say, these are the things that I am looking for. Because otherwise, if your players decide that the 3 elements your Pokemon have are like weed, jizz, and beer, it's going to be a much different game than if they are fire, air, and water. And like you as the facilitator may sit down with your game group expecting electricity, water, earth, and you get, weed, jizz, and beer, and then that your expectations have not lined up with what your players are going for. There's nothing wrong with being blue or silly, but your expectations need to be set ahead of time. And like that's just put in your directions that this is a conversation that needs to happen. And then, of course, everyone wanted to talk about, like, what a jizz Pokemon is. And I was like, guys, you're missing the point.
I don't want to talk about that at all.
Also, like, that joke is only going to be funny for so long.
Right? And it's only going to be funny for, like, 5 minutes.
Right. That's like, that sort of thing is going to stop being funny. So if that's your choice, like, there's only so much you can get out of a potty joke, Do
you remember the,
what?
Name of the dev and the name of the game?
Oh, apparently it is Secret Journey Monsters by Graham Gentz.
I bring it up because a couple people in chat were like, oh, that sounds really cool. So if you're interested in following the trail of that particular game, which I think it sounds really cool too, it's Secret Journey Monsters by Graham Gentz. Yeah,
and then Friday night I was in, I think it was Friday night, maybe it might have been Saturday morning. What did I do on Saturday morning?
We went to the bakery.
No, Saturday night. We went to the bakery, yeah.
I remember this by way of what I ate. Saturday we went to the bakery and I had a chocolate croissant and a latte.
And I also had a chocolate croissant.
It was very good.
Just a plain old coffee.
Very good.
And then I had to dip and Neil paid for it.
What
did I do at 9 o'clock in the morning?
I don't know, but you had to get out of there.
Oh, it was I was in the focus group. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
That was the focus group. That was Saturday morning.
Oh,
Friday night was the dice pool heartbreaker. Because it's not a Metatopia if I'm not on a dice pool heartbreaker.
They just kind of happened to you.
Well, I'm eminently qualified to judge them. So and I really felt bad for the person running this, because not only did they have a dice pool heartbreaker, but they had to, and they were clearly super nervous about it, but they did also choose to have a high test, and in their high test, they got me and Rob Donahue.
Oh no! Oh no!
Both of us sort of, I mean, you were in the room where I read the description and I was like, this is a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
This is a heartbreaker.
Yeah, you were nervous.
I was like, oh, this is going to be
you
terrible.
Don't know. You don't know.
I do know.
You don't know. You don't know until you play it.
You were like, you don't know. And I was like, except
I knew.
Except that I do.
Oh, man.
I sat down and I was what, like 5 minutes into the test, and I was like, I was right! Via text.
All right, so this poor dev gets you and Rob Donahue for their dice pool heartbreaker.
Yeah. And their poor dice pool heartbreaker, which had some high points, as they always do, but a lot of low points, as they always do.
Yeah.
And, like, I think that they had, in classic person of the man persuasion method, signed up for a beta test, which means which by the cons criteria means you are almost done.
Right.
And a beta test, high test, which means you are ready to launch.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't.
Well,
yeah. So in the interest of proving a point, we decided that we were going to make the biggest dice pool possible, and everyone. There was a cool, like, dice lending mechanic that we all really liked, and then we were like, well, let's see how big we can make this pool, and then everybody did the dice lending, and I rolled 53 dice. I rolled 53 d6s.
How?
Which is...
Was this digitally done?
No, I have very big hands.
So you were able to collect and count out 53 dice?
Yes, well, like, someone just counted up their pool and they pushed it to me, and someone else counted up their pool and they pushed it to me, and I tallied up my pool and I put it in the middle, and then I scooped up all 53 dice, went on the table like it was a game of fucking Exalted. And you think this is the first time I've ever held 53 dice? Who do you think you're talking to?
That's just a lot of dice.
It's
I didn't
too
know
many
there
dice.
Would be that many at the table. So, okay, what was their reaction?
The person, the designer brought those brought 6 of those cubes of D6s.
Oh, okay.
So there was enough dice present to do this.
Were they, like, totally cool with the fact that you were rolling 50, or were they like, oh no?
Yeah. No, they didn't seem at all surprised.
Okay.
I also didn't know how many dice I was rolling. Just Rob was like, how big can my pool get? Then I'm giving it to Monica. And then one of the other designers across the table was also like, how big can my pool get? I'm also giving it to Monica.
You just bullied this person.
I mean, that's what a playtest is for.
It's a playtest, I know.
And, like, I was also sitting next to Rob Donahue, and I keep looking over and watching him, like, make a note, sort of give me a little bit of, like, I'm also making notes, because, like, as Rob very excellently put it, people often will want to, like, launch immediately into, like, let's fix this right now, and he's like, no, we need to keep playing, let's not, what did he say? Repair it in flight.
Right.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I love that. Yeah, let's not repair it in flight.
Yeah.
So, like, the core concepts were fine. It was a traditional, crunchy, fighting and math type game, even though the person said that they wanted it to be more, like, character backstory driven, which is part of the problem with Heartbreakers, which we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
And so we reached a point, we were like, okay, this is the part at which we need to sit down and talk about this. And then, as with all Heartbreakers, it's less, you need to fix this system, and more, you need to read more things. Like, the rest of it was just like, fortunately, like, I'm sure it's terrifying to be in a dice pool playtest with me and Rob Donahue, but on the other hand, both of us are very good at feedback and not being dicks.
And it wasn't like this was unexpected. They specifically requested a high test.
Right. Yeah.
You don't, like, accidentally check a box and go, oh no!
Oh,
like...
no! Right, no, this is 100% intentional. And, like, of anyone there, I don't think you could get 2 more people who are more qualified to tell you, and also not harsh.
Yeah.
So, like, it's the 2 of us basically going, here's homework, here are things you need to read. Like, there are other games accomplishing...
You aren't quite ready yet.
there are other games accomplishing the things you want to do, and we're not saying that you need to do that exactly, but you need to understand how someone else has already done it so that you can come to your own conclusions.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, there's a new subsystem in Vampire the Requiem's Guide to the Night that was basically exactly what he wanted in his social system, and I was like, just go read that, learn how it works, and then make your own version.
Right.
That is literally how all game design works, bud. Like,
yeah. You don't got to reinvent the wheel here. Just
right, and then
see what other people have done.
So then it was also a lot of Rob Donahue being like, look at this fate thing, look at this fate thing, and me going, look at this story path thing, look at this story path thing. My character did have a cool sword, and I was into that. But it was like, then I also in every Heartbreaker game, it's like, okay, so you're telling me that this is a game that is about connections, and you've got this really cool sort of unique setting idea about like time being broken and echoes of people coming back corrupted and that being like the problem. How rad is that? And then like your backstory has to deal with like the fact that some sort of nega you can appear.
That's
or
cool
like
as hell.
The nega versions of your loved ones.
Yeah, that's
like,
awesome.
Right, that's awesome. And but what you wrote was like someone described Exalted to you and you decided to do it with D6s somehow.
Oh.
And so like a lot of that advice is not, oh, you're bad or you're wrong. It's basically like, here are things you have not understood. Here are things you need to understand in order to.
Yeah, it sounds like it just needs like a clarity of purpose.
Right. And the person's ultimate goal was like to try to teach their home playgroup to like invest in backstory more. And we were like, and Rob Donahue very kindly was like, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but basically what you said is you want to make a game that your friends won't find fun.
Oh.
And I was like, I get where you're coming from, and that's like incredibly sweet that you want to help them learn to like story games more. But I think there are other ways to work people into that than what you've done here.
Yeah.
And then we had a conversation about like, okay, so you can either take this rad idea and convert it to some other system, but we don't want to give you that advice if that's not what you want to do. And they were like, no, I actually want to continue with my own thing. And we were like, okay, cool. Toss that one out. Here's how we'll help you do the homework so you can get to the place you want to be.
Cool. I mean, as intimidating as that is, and as much as I've been going like, aw, at everything you say, what an invaluable experience for this person to get that kind of feedback and advice from like the two people who would be most qualified to give them that feedback. That's incredible. I hope that they came away from it feeling that way and not like completely demoralized, because that, I mean, that's cool as hell. And it's also like brave that they put themselves out there like that.
Yeah. I think it's maybe a little bit more of the person of the man persuasion thinks they're more qualified than they are than bravery. But hey.
It's a kind of bravery.
It is a kind of bravery.
It's an unexamined bravery.
It is an unexamined bravery. May you all have that sort of unexamined bravery. Yeah, so that was Saturday night. Friday
and then
night,
I had a grilled cheese sandwich.
And we had a grilled cheese sandwich. Also, that person took feedback, because I have been in Heartbreakers where I've gone, your dice math is fucked. And the designer went, no, it isn't. And I went, excuse me?
So Saturday.
Yeah, that was not this year, fortunately.
What the fuck did I do on Saturday? Saturday, we went to the bakery and I had a croissant.
I was in a focus group, which is not actually a playtest. I thought I was going to be in a playtest. It was actually just Beth Rimmels, who's doing the Awesome Eights thing, trying to figure out what sort of settings to start with. Like,
right.
Because the thing she wants to do with Awesome Eights is basically make like Awesome Eights is a game in which like you have cards that you build your character with. And then it uses a really simple like 3d8 add up plus stat target number or opposed roll system for resolution.
Cool.
So like, and then the card sets apply to each genre. So like if you're gonna make a fantasy game, you don't use the card that has drive in it, you use the card that has ride instead.
Okay.
Yeah. So that you have like a custom tailored set of like, these are the skills, these are the powers, these are the merits or whatever. So that like a brand new person can, and also they're color coded like on the side. So the GM can be like, we're going to use this set of red cards for powers, this set of green cards for skills, and this set of blue cards for benefits, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so
I love that.
The intent is that like someone can teach people who have never had any experiences with RPGs to like build and play a game by simply handing them like a hand of cards. And
That's
then
cool.
you can like put them in front of you to build. You build your character creation basically by spending points on cards.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great idea. And so like the ultimate goal being like you sell a package of like, this is the high fantasy game in which here's the deck of high fantasy cards and a little booklet about how to run high fantasy games.
That's cool as hell. I like that.
Cyberpunk and blah, 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 blah. And so like the focus group was about a couple settings she was entertaining and the like how to deal with the elements of them that could be more problematic and are they even worth starting.
Right.
And it was a good discussion. It let me kind of get up on the your steampunk should always be punk soapbox.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and I was wearing my BXP shirt and I flirted with one of the other women at the table.
Oh, good for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Excellent. Great. Saturday I went to a Forged in the Dark panel.
Oh yeah.
Run by Strauss and John from they came up with they wrote Scum and Villainy.
Mm-hmm.
It was an incredible panel, honestly. I took a huge amount of notes because it was all about just the design philosophy basically and how to hack how to basically make a Forged in the Dark game. And they both had just incredible insight into how the original like Blades in the Dark came about and what like how they were able to come up with this really like setting tight version of Forged in the Dark that's like space opera / space western / whatever Scum and Villainy would be classified as. But yeah, it was really good. Yeah, Henry's like, I'm so envious I missed that panel. That's what Henry sounds like. It was really good. I wish I had more to say about it, but I didn't bring my notebook in here for obvious examples. But just like hearing two devs like go deep on dev philosophy was really valuable to me.
Nice.
Then I went and had some ramen.
Oh yeah, we had ramen for lunch. And then I think we took like a 2-hour nap.
Yeah, then we napped.
We napped.
We checked on our RP, and we took a nap.
You and Henry slept, and I just like surfed on my phone for 2 hours. I didn't actually fall asleep.
I took some Z's.
You took some Z's.
A bit.
Yep.
Snored.
Yep.
Then what did I do?
I don't know what you did.
Then we went to dinner.
Yeah, I think we just...
Then I had the drums of heaven.
Fucked around for a while.
We just ran into people and just talked.
Yeah.
We had a good conversation with Kamish Hamron.
Yeah.
We ran into... I talked a bit with Neil and Danielle.
Yeah.
Hung out with David a lot. And what else did I fucking meet? I ran into so many people that I was like, it's you! It was the constant like Spider-Man meme for me, like every 10 minutes. You!
We realized Kamish Hamron was there.
And then we had to go hunt down Kamish Hamron.
And then once we found him, we couldn't stop finding him.
Yeah. And then it was like I was like, oh, there he is.
I saw Hamish like every day after that.
Yeah. We didn't really need to try hard to find him. He was just there.
Then we had the MMP dinner, and that was fucking delightful.
Yeah, we got to hang out with Phil and Senda.
Yep.
And Bob. Yep. And Rob. And
I also saw Bob all weekend.
Yeah, well, I only saw Bob that night.
Oh, okay. I saw Bob all weekend.
And we talked about sports and whiskey, because he's got powerful dad energy.
Bob has immense dad energy. And like I was drinking at the bar with Deal and Nixie. Wow.
Deal and Nixie.
Yep. Kamish Hamron. Yep, them from the Ponix Path Productions. And then Bob bought me another drink, and I let him tell me a really boring fishing story. And I was just standing there, like, just letting him, like,
it was about the experience.
Well, he was also, like, drinking the same kind of whiskey that my late father really liked. And I was just like, Bob, I miss my dad. Oh. Bob is barely old enough to actually be my father, though. It's just barely.
Oh, jeez.
Bob would have had to have me at 19 in order to be my dad. So
I mean,
it's possible.
Yeah, yeah. Powerful dad energy.
Yeah.
Drank old whiskey.
Yep.
Told a lot of really bad jokes.
Then Danielle was like, "Do I need to rescue you from this?" And I was like, "No,
this is delightful.
No, it's okay. I'm just letting him tell me a boring story. It's fine.
He should charge for this. This is great." We're millennials, man. We're broken. We need this.
So dinner was delightful, except I was in the process of getting sick.
Yeah, you
And
had some pad thai that was very good. And
Yeah, it was
that's the only
delicious.
reason I know that it wasn't food poisoning, because I had some of your pad thai.
Oh, yeah. You did. Yeah, it could have,
Pad thai is
and it couldn't have been from lunch either, because we had the same thing for
We
lunch.
both had ramen, yeah.
And the
So
same
you
kind
just
of
got
ramen,
sick.
so it definitely wasn't food poisoning. I definitely caught some sort of stomach bug.
And then after that, I went to a playtest run by this guy named Henry.
Oh, who's that?
That was what was it called? Exit Anomalies.
Yeah.
The system was really tight. There was a lot of setting to go through, but it's one of those like really like not like space opera-y, but like super like highfalutin sci-fi. So the character options are like out there, but in a really cool way. So everybody at the table was super excited about their different character options, and we all played something that was a little weird but still pretty sexy. That's what I thought anyway. I think some of the other players were like, "What?" Because I like weird shit.
Yeah.
I'm being coy. This is literally Henry's game. He's listening to me talk about it right now.
Is.
It was cool as hell. I wish we'd had more time with it. I think that was my only major complaint was we didn't have enough time to actually like play a lot of it.
Yeah, all the playtests this year were just 2 hours. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah, I think that was like around the table. I think the biggest issue all of us had was like we didn't have enough time to really play this.
Yeah,
it was cool as hell what we got through, but it's a 2d6 ad, but threshold like over the success number can be spent on different effects, which I like a lot more than just the regular like 2d6 add a stat, because it used to be, I mean, in like this your standard like apocalypse world, it's you rolled a 12, but you don't have like the advanced move, so it's just like you did it, but you did it good, so a 12 doesn't really do shit for you.
Right.
But in this sense, it'd be like, okay, well the target number was 8, and you got 12, which means you have 4 extra successes over that. So how do you want to spend those extra like threshold successes? So it actually made a difference if I had something that could grant you a +1 or something that could subtract 1 from their roll.
Right.
So that was cool.
1 threshold is every 2 above the target number.
Right.
Just for our audience's sake. No, I was just telling for our audience's sake, like that's how that's determined.
Yeah. Because you did the dice math on that, right?
I did. Yeah. I mean, Henry also did. Henry also did
no attention to how the dice like rolled, because I was like, I know Monica had an insight into this, so I'm not even going to think about it.
I mean, like Henry also is good at this. You can't lay that entirely at my feet. But were you in the room? I can't remember when this happened. When Danielle was like, she basically said the same thing you just said, where she was like, yeah, I knew the system was going to be good. Monica wouldn't let you write a bad one.
Yes, exactly. I'm not even going to think about that part.
Right.
Yeah. And then I went to bed.
Yeah. I had like.
Actually, I stayed up pretty late Saturday night.
I hung out with MMP people after that, observed Phil and Senda playing a cute card game about cats.
Uh-huh.
I was invited to play too, but I was having a weird, like, emotional drop at the time.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to squeeze myself into Henry's table to watch the game be played because, like, there was just too many people. I was having a, like, I guess my
pre-sick moment.
Yeah, I was getting ill, and I didn't know. But I also was, like, having that introvert energy drop, and like sitting with too many unfamiliar people was like, nope.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that crowded in the room, so I just like sort of existed near friends. But they weren't close enough friends to make that better. So
it was that limbo of like I'm familiar with them.
Yeah, so
but
like
not
my energy kept dropping.
Yeah.
And like there was by the time they were done, I was straight up depressed. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. And I fucking dipped, and I went up to the room and like texted you and Danielle, because I wanted to talk to Danielle, but she got picked up to go play on a playtest, like you do.
Yeah.
And I like texted both of you, and I was like, I'm having a real low moment. I'm in the room. Like, if you want to come up and talk, that's where I am.
And then we stayed up until about midnight.
Yeah, and then we stayed up really late, and then I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning,
and then you woke up sick
and proceeded to shit my brains out.
God. Do you really want that in the podcast?
Meh. Margaret will decide how funny that was and then leave it in or not.
Oh, we're going to leave it up to Margaret.
We're going to leave it up to Margaret and the spur of the moment. I'm not embarrassed to say that I got some sort of weird GI bug at a con.
Okay. All right. Well, we lost somebody.
Yeah, somebody was like, oh, it was Henry.
Ew, gross. Disconnect. Sunday you got sick.
Yeah.
I went out to have you want to know what I ate on Sunday?
Sure, tell me what you ate on Sunday. I was unable to eat food safely. And I was like, all I want to do is go home because it's almost a 3-hour drive home, and this is how I feel.
Oh man.
Yeah. I also somehow did not have a fever. Like, I got home and I took my temperature and I was still at normal.
Huh.
But still violently ill.
That sucks.
Yeah, it did.
So Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I was trying to get people together for breakfast, but the committed pig was right out, and it made me very sad because I was going to go back for their French toast.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, we being me and David Castro, went to a place called Fatty's.
Okay.
On recommendation of just someone who happened to overhear us. Like, you should go to Fatty's. We're like, all right. Fatty's is famous for having just the most ridiculous sandwich options. But what I mean by that is, and you could just look them up. I think they're like fatsandwiches.com or something. There it is, fatsandwich.com.
Yeah, I think they're a chain.
Yeah, they started locally to that area. But I had a sandwich called the Cardiac Arrest, which was ham, sausage, bacon, egg, cheese, and French fries, all crammed into a sandwich roll, which I thought was like, okay, this is going to put me in a coma. But I forgot that I was on the East Coast, and I'll have a lot to say about East Coast food in a second. I forgot that I was on the East Coast, and they take their sandwiches very, very seriously there. If you had ordered this here in the Midwest or even on the West Coast, it would have been like on big, thick, buttery slices of sourdough. It would have been dripping with goo and grease, and it would have made me ill, if not comatose. But on the East Coast, everything was like lightly fried. The French fries were freshly made, and they weren't at all greasy, and they were limited by that little like hoagie roll that they use. And it was really fucking good. And it set me up for the day. I was feeling great. And as soon as I was done with that, I was like, hey, there's Dunkin' Donuts. I needed a coffee, but also I was in Dunkin' Donuts. So I got a fucking apple fritter because I love apple fritters. Here's the thing about apple fritters that I just learned. Where I'm from, an apple fritter is like a funnel cake with little bits of apple folded into it. It's like a lumpy, shapeless, spiced dough with little bits of apple in it. And it's delightful. It's great. I love that spicy dough. I love that crunchy glaze. I love those little bits of apples. What I didn't know is on the East Coast, an apple fritter is a big, thick, filled donut stuffed with literal apple pie filling. Just goo in the center.
I don't know that that's an East Coast thing. That might be that Dunkin' Donuts thing.
I think it might be a New England thing, because when I checked in with my husband, it caused a rift. It caused a marital spat. Because I took a bite out of this donut and I was like, what the fuck is this? And David right across from me is like, it's an apple fritter. I was like, no, it's not. And I sent a picture to my husband, who's from New York City. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, that's an apple fritter. And I was like, no, it's not. And we got in a fight. I still ate it.
I mean, I guess I would
I ate the hell out of it.
File it under something adjacent as apple fritter, but I'm also mostly familiar with like the grocery store or whatever selling like a fried dough one.
Yeah, the little lumpy, shapeless.
Yeah.
Those are
glazed,
good.
Usually.
This was like one of those like Boston cream donuts, but filled with apple pie filling.
I don't know what's up with that. Like, I think I would call that an apple fritter, but it's not the first thing I would think of. Like,
it's not an apple fritter.
Like
but I explained it to my husband. Like, this is not correct. And he's like, this is why I never get apple fritters. I don't like personal pan apple pies. And I was like, this is not what they're supposed to be like.
Now I think when we're done recording, I think I need to go to the nearby Dunkin' and get one just to find out.
See what the fucking apple fritters is. Someone who has actually lived in New York is in chat like, no, that's fucking weird. I don't know.
That may just be what Dunkin' as a chain calls that.
Maybe. Yeah, I could clarify. I'd be like, hey, husband, did you only ever get them from Dunkin'?
Oh, no. Okay. Apparently.
Okay,
all right. Wow.
Okay.
We're going to start a food fight. Let's, we also have been at the Metatopia wrap up for nearly an hour, and we need to do a full episode. So.
Okay. Is there anything else I need to talk about?
I don't know. I mean, Sunday was nothing.
Fritter.
I dipped. I was sick and had no caffeine. So I was like, Sunday was just out for me. And I had to dip on a whole bunch of conversations people wanted to have with me because I was like, I am very sick. I don't know if this is contagious. Like, you don't want what I'm serving. You don't want any of this. So we left.
We left.
That was we left, and we left.
You left,
like,
and then I left.
we left at like 11.
Rob left with me.
Yep, we left at like 11:30, and I went home, and then I slept all day.
Same.
Yep.
That was Metatopia.
That was Metatopia.
I learned a lot.
Good.
I learned about games. I learned about apple pie donuts. I learned a lot. And I will be back next year,
Sweet.
much more prepared.
Yeah.
I will sign up for things. I will bring business cards. I will wear a shirt that has my podcast on it. Because I got a couple of like, hey, aren't you Ray from Bonus Experience? I was like, I am Ray from Bonus Experience. Sorry, I haven't updated in like a month.
We're fixing it. Don't worry.
Right. Monica's threatening to kill me. Margaret. Who am I? What's going on?
I was like, I never threatened to kill you.
No, you're very kind to Margaret. You're very understanding of Margaret's needs. Which is what Margaret needs right now. Someone who's understanding.
We're gonna close this out? Yeah.
Monica?
Yes.
Where can they find us?
bxpcast.com, part of the Misdirected Mark Network.
Bing. Monica, can they email us though?
They can.
Can they email us though?
If they want to argue with us about stuff we said, you can send an email to bonus.
We gotta clear up this apple pie thing.
Yeah. Weigh in on the apple pie dilemma.
What is up with the apple fritters here?
At bonusexpcast@gmail.com.
We're on Twitter too, right?
Yep. It's
Ostensibly.
the same as the email address. Bonusexpcast.
Bonus expcast.
Yeah. Bonusexpcast. The word sex is in it.
You're on Twitter too, right?
Yeah, I sure
Monica?
fucking am. You wanna see a lot of Cathmere art?
Oh, boy do I.
That's all I'm doing right now. I have an agenda and it's gay. You can follow me at Zenith Sun. I will eventually get back to talking about game design.
I'm on Twitter too. It's Ray_Cole. It's just 87 consecutive images of a guy that I married in a video game. So maybe don't follow me just yet. maybe give it a bit. Is that it?
I think that's it.
All right, everybody get out.
All right, let's go.
And change it if you want to.
Yeah, change it if you want to.
Change it if you want to. Bye.
Do I have to do this? Ugh, fine. Bonus Experience is written and produced by Monica and Ray, and edited by Margaret. Our logo and art is by Nino Studios. Find her on Facebook and Instagram. Our theme song is Reused Noise with the Light by CDK, and is used under the Attribution Non-Commercial Creative Commons license. BXP is part of the Misdirected Mark Network. I'm not reading this. Fuck it. Bye.